안녕하십니까. 좋은 밤. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. Good morning, guys. Good morning. 여기 우리 길드원 분이 계시네. 최소 길드는 제 길드거든요. 본캐 길드. 이분이 지금 잠수신 것 같은데. Hello, hello. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the stream. 와, 얘네 경험치 많이 주네. Hi, welcome to the stream. Good morning. Found someone with no brain rot. Oh wow. You don't think I have brain rot, huh? You like my content? Well, I'm glad you enjoy my content. Thank you for the kind words, man. Appreciate it. 안녕하세요. 어서 오세요. 안녕하세요. 어서 오세요. 안녕하세요. 목적이 어디신가요? 목적이요? 아, 국적이. 국적은 지금 미국에 살고 있습니다. 안녕하세요, 여러분. 어서 오세요. 좋은 밤. 아, 역시 도적을 하면은 미스가 잘 떠서 참 좋은 것 같아요. 미스가 많이 뜨면 용기사를 키울 때는 미스가 이렇게 잘 뜨지 않았는데 확실히 도적이다 보니까 미스가 잘 떠서 참 좋네요. Hides his level so he can look like his live. No, I'm not hiding my level. If you come to my other live, instead of the live that's being broadcasted into my shorts, you can see the full screen. 안녕하세요. 어서오세요. 외국인이냐고요? 한국 사람입니다. 한국인이에요. 생긴 게 미국인처럼 생겼다. 혼혈인입니다, 지미님. 안녕하세요. 어서오세요. 뽀호님. 좋은 밤이에요. 미국은 굉장히 추운데 한국도 많이 추운지. 태어난 건 한국인가요? 네, 그렇습니다. 한국에서 태어났고요. 중학교까지 한국에서 졸업한 다음에 고등학교 생활을 미국에서 시작하게 된 케이스입니다. 아직 추운데 슬슬 풀리는 중. 미국은 한 번 더 강추위가 한 번 더 돌 것 같아요. 저번 주 엄청 추웠고 눈도 엄청 많이 왔거든요. 근데 언제지? 이번 주 후반부부터 조금 따뜻해지고 한 번 더 눈보라가 온다고 하는데 그 뒤로는 어떻게 될지 모르겠거든요. 근데 이번 겨울이 유난히 더 많이 추운 것 같아요. 지난 겨울들보다. 한국이 세계권에서 좀 추운 나라긴 하다. 아무래도 바다로 둘러싸여 있으니까 더 그러지 않나 싶어요. 얼골2 가라고요. 얼골2 이미 마하티아를 와서 영어로는 한국 같은 나라를 페닌슐라라고 하거든요. 그러니까 나라가 바다로 쌓여 있으면 네 군데가, 그러니까 동서남북이 다 쌓여 있으면 아일랜드잖아요, 섬. 근데 세 군데로 그러니까 남쪽 네 방면에서 둘러싸여 있는 게 아니라 네 방면에서 세 방면만 바다에 둘러싸여 있으면 페닌슐라라고 하는데, 영어로 한국말로는 뭐라고 하는지 안녕하세요. 어서오세요. 날이 풀리면 미세먼지가 심하다. 반도. 아, 반도. 사이티하고 여기 몬스터들 자체가 경험치 업데이트를 받아가지고 옛날보다 비교적으로 잘 오르네요. 경험치가. 중국이 자꾸 미세먼지 달린다. 미세먼지 심하죠, 중국에서 오는 거. 참 안타깝죠. 한국의 그 지리 위치를 보면 딱 중국 남쪽인가? 남쪽의 동남쪽. 그러니까 중국의 근처에 있어서 하여튼 중국의 미세먼지가 좀 심하잖아요. 이만 매수 잡템. 저거 먹어줘야죠. 저건 놓치면 안 되죠. 맞아. 아, 근데 이런 거 다 팔아야 되는데 이따가 마을에 가서 한번 우편으로 다 보내놓고 와야 되겠다. 꼬리들 다 돈 되거든요. What do you rate your third job 1 to 10? Chief Bandit? On what metric? Efficiency, fun? What's the metric here? What am I rating? 여기 맵 저격수한테 좋겠군요. 저격수한테 굉장히 좋죠. 여기 끼우 실장이라는 분이 제 길드, 본캐 길드원 분인데 잠수신 것 같아요. 근데 보시면 지금 저격수시거든요. 여기서 사냥하시면 굉장히 할만하겠죠? 아이언 에로우로. Overall. Give me a second. Overall, huh? Well, I'll tell you what I consider important if I have to rate a job or a class. Especially in a game like MapleStory, I would consider the most important metric fun. Like, is it fun to play? For fun, I would give Chief Bandit a 10, a solid 10. Extremely fun to play. Extremely fun to play, very mobile, nimble. I would give it a 10 on the fun. In terms of efficiency, probably a 5. Don't have the best mobbing skills. Because it's melee, you're not really sought after in party settings. So in efficiency, probably 5. Damage probably a 6. 크로타님 안녕하세요. 어서 오세요. What else? Well, for me, most important metric is it fun to play? No matter what class I play, I always ask that question. Is it fun for me to play the game? Is it fun when I play the game? And it's a 10 for me when it comes to Chief Bandit. 방송 지금 킨지 한 30분 정도 된 것 같아요. 30분 조금 지났네요. 오늘은 1시간 정도 일찍 시작해서 방송을 일찍 끝내야 하거든요. 양아버님이 먼 거리를 오셔가지고 저를 가족을 보러 점심을 같이 먹기로 해가지고 일찍 가봐야 해서 방송을 일찍 킨 다음에 일찍 가볼 생각입니다. 이 맵 나오는 템은 맛은 괜찮나요? 아마 호문이라는 애들이 여기 조그만한 애들이 보이시죠? 비커를 머리 위에 쓰고 있는 애들. 얘네들이 아마 드롭 테이블이 좀 괜찮을 거예요. 사이티는 별로 안 좋은데 Where do you currently live? I'm from Scotland. Welcome, man. Scotland. That's really cool. Scotland, huh? I don't think I've ever had a viewer from Scotland. Is that the Scottish flag? The blue and the white X? Where do you currently live? I currently live in United States, America. Have I ever been to UK? I haven't been to UK yet. I would love to go. I heard it's very cloudy and rains a lot over there in Europe. 단도도 키우시네. 단도도 키우고 있습니다. Also very cold in Europe. -6 degrees Celsius today in Netherlands. Oh, we got a lot of people from different parts of the world. Netherlands too. That's really cool. But -6 degrees Celsius is sounds terrible. I'm sorry. That's well below freezing. What do you guys do during those times? Just stay indoors, or are you guys used to that cold weather? So for you guys, it doesn't faze you guys. 지금 84 용기사 키우는데 원탁을 몇부터 갈 수 있는지 알 수 있을까요? 원탁은 84에는 좀 무리가 있으실 것 같고, 아이템에 따라 다르겠지만 한 90 정도? 로어를 마스터 하셨는지 스피어 버스터를 마스터 하셨는지도 좀 알아봐야 할 것 같은데, 만약에 스피어 버스터를 마스터 하셨다면 80대 후반부에 가는 게 좋지 않을까 생각해요. Brazil viewer here. Nice. We have people from all over the world. Most people just bike to work. That's insane. -10 degrees in Korea. Wow. Extremely cold. Luckily, I am working from home today. Tomorrow I have to go to the office. I guess working remote is a worldwide thing, huh? 레벨 84라면 숫깔이 정말 잘 오르고 편하실 거예요. 원탁은 아직 무리이지 않을까, 레벨 84시면. 시프도 숲가에 갈 수 있는지 모르겠군요. 제가 용기사 키울 때 숲가를 아주 많이 했는데 시프를 단 한 번 본 적 있어요. 레벨 80대 후반 시프분이 숲가로 오셔서 같이 파사를 했거든요. 근데 나름 잘 잡으시더라고요. It's only 3 in Scotland today. Not bad, not bad. 사이길 100만 먹다가 숲갈 오늘 처음 해봤는데 250만 먹고 깜짝 놀랐다. 숲갈이 굉장히 잘 올라요. 저도 용기사 키울 때 지금 레벨이 116, 117 다 돼가는데 아직까지도 숲갈을 하거든요. 파티가 있으면. 숲갈을 90대 초반부터 시작했으니까 저는 80대 중반이시면 숲갈이 엄청 잘 오르지 않을까라고 생각합니다. 숲갈 가려면 시브즈 마스터 필수겠군요. 저는 시브즈 빌드보다는 픽파킷이랑 메소 익스플로전 쪽으로 한번 가보려고요. 어설터, 픽파킷, 메소 익스플로전 빌드를 가서 육성을 해볼 생각입니다. Hey Johnny, is the Magatia drop rate is bad theory correct? I'm not sure personally. I mean, I think people say scrolls don't drop here because there are a few monsters here in Magatia. I think this guy, right? The Homoons, the one with the beaker on his head. So let me see. These guys are supposed to drop something pretty valuable. But not only these guys, but there's another one in the room 202. So if you look here, this is Laboratory 201. At 202, there's a different monster. And he's supposed to drop Helm for Dexterity 60%. And then you have the Roid that drops another valuable scroll. And obviously the Humanoid drops Glove for Attack 60%. I think a lot of people know that one already. And that theory came about because these mobs were... People noticed that no matter how long they grind here, they can't get those valuable scrolls. So it's not just I don't think it's an overall broad statement of this place has bad drop rate. I think it was more specific for scrolls. I think people were saying that Magatia in general have bad drop rates when it comes to scrolls. Because when I was playing my Dragon Knight and I was grinding here, I grinded at C2, not really C1, but C2 and Laboratory 202 a lot. When I first became Dragon Knight, like level 70, 71, and I would alternate from doing party quest to grinding, and I never got a scroll from there. I got a lot of equipment, but never a scroll. But these guys recently got some buff. So the Cites here, and even these little beaker guys, they're called Homoon. I don't know what they were called in GMS, but their EXP got buffed recently. So Cites only used to give, like if you look at the EXP when I kill this guy, it's something around 409. It used to be like 240, 260, 200 something. So it's not a bad grind here just for EXP. Even if, let's say that theory is correct, that drop rates are bad here, it's not a bad place to come at my level and just grind. I don't think there's any other place that gives about 400 EXP per mob, 350, 400. And, you know, comparing to where I'm coming from, which was White Fang and Hector's gave, I believe, 170, 160, and White Fang gives 200. So, and this map is relatively small. If I have one more person in a party with me here, a great place to party grind too with your buddy. Hello, welcome to the stream, guys. New faces today, welcome. I see, by the way, does Mapleland have 30% scrolls? No, we don't have 30% scrolls. We don't have 70% scrolls. I don't know what the future roadmap is for those. Personally, I hope they don't release it. I like when the game is simple. I like simple games. Hopefully we get some people that join the stream that will take me to Romeo and Juliet Party Quest, and I can show you guys that content today. But we'll see. I would love to go because that's my favorite party quest. But I am really under-leveled. I qualify, I can join, I meet the minimum requirement, but if I try to join any party, if I try to find a party on Discord, I don't think anybody will take me. Romeo and Juliet was such a fun party quest. I used to play priest, so I would give HS to party members while everyone grinded until we had 5 to 10 minutes left and would quickly finish the party quest to maximize the XP gain. I see, are you talking about where you can earn the key cards? Hi Catcher, welcome to the stream, man. I'm from Sukkot, Toronto. I'm still learning. Sukkot, Toronto? What is Sukkot, Toronto? Bandit grind is legendary. Can't wait for the classic. I love playing Bandit, man. Beginning of the stream, someone asked me if I could rate the Bandit, and you know, it's a broad question, so I asked him, can you give me some metrics, like what am I grading the Bandit on? And he said overall, when it comes to the Bandit, I think the gameplay experience is a A+, probably S tier. I don't think I played any other class that was as fun as the Bandit in the third job. You know, I love the Assaulter. Once I learned Pickpocket and Mezzo Explosion, all of that's gonna be super fun. But the downside of the Bandit is that it still doesn't have great mobbing skill. It doesn't have a multi-target hitting skill. Mezzo Explosion is probably like, I would say C tier when it comes to mobbing, but it's fun as hell. I mean, and what's the point of playing the game? It's for you to have fun, right? The grind doesn't seem too bad when the game is fun. So, these guys aren't dying for some reason. Like a slight bug with that guy. Yeah, the keycard map. It used to be the best place to gain EXP. You've never seen Romeo and Juliet Party Quest, should be interesting. But hopefully we'll find someone here that joins my stream from KMS and he'll take me. We'll see though. Wow, the server's very laggy right now. What's going on? Man, PQs are my favorite part of Maple. I love them so much. I agree. PQs were a good integration into the game. Band of Thieves is pretty good. It's kind of, Band of Thieves is okay, and the only reason I say that is because its range, the skills range in the x-axis and the y-axis isn't that great. Like, I think the y-axis, when it comes to the radius of how far the skill will go to hit the enemies, is shorter than your peers. So in terms of that, it's kind of bad, and I think the damage is kind of underwhelming. 용기사 말고 시프도 키우시네요. 네, 시프도 키우고 있습니다. Oh, okay. Did the range get buffed? I did not know that. But another thing that I really don't like about Band of Thieves is that it just feels too boring. I'm being honest. It feels like any other mobbing skills, arrow rain, arrow eruption. What else is there? You know, it feels, or what is it? The Ice Lightning Mage's Ice Strike. Is it Ice Strike where the ice falls down? And it's essentially the same thing. There's a small radius around you where it can reach the enemies and freeze them. And I just think if you're a bandit, you have such a cool kit with Assaulter, and your identity is so strong and unique that I I think you're doing a disservice to yourself to master Band of Thieves first and go that route. I want to try, I want to play the Bandit for its uniqueness. I want to level Pickpocket and Mezzo Explosion. And here in KMS, they don't really level Mezzo Explosion. I think they either forego Pickpocket or Mezzo Explosion. And I'm not those guys. I'm not a huge fan of using Mezzo Explosion by itself. I don't like dropping like 50k for 5 minutes to blow it all that up in like 10 seconds. That's not what I like. I like using Mezzo Explosion in conjunction with Pickpocket. That's what I like. I like that mechanic. Chief Bandit, Poggers, congrats on 70. Thanks, Exotic. Appreciate it. Those colorful ninjas. I mean, don't get me wrong, the illustration is really cool. The bandits and the ninjas coming out to hit the monsters are really funny and it's unique. But in terms of what the skill does, and I guess the usage of the skill and what the skill does is not much different from Arrow Eruption or Arrow Rain, in my opinion. And I just want to play the unique bandit I want to play the bandit like a bandit, Chief Bandit. Are you gonna make another bandit at some point in Classic or nah? I think so. I want to. Bandits have a special place in my heart. I'm excited to make a crossbowman. Considering what they're doing to clerics and potentially ruining their fourth job, it gives me a chance to try something new. I've always been a mage main. I did a poll, I think, after you left yesterday, Dodic, and I was surprised to see a lot of people, if they were going to play in the classic server, I figured it would be the traditional thief, archer in the top two on what class people would want to play, and then the mage, and then the warrior as the fourth. But to my surprise, the number one pick was the mage, and then the number two pick, I believe, was the warrior. I can't remember, but number one was the mage. A lot of people wanted to play the mage. Not gonna lie, when I play Bandit, I maxed out volume and spam Savage Blow. I think a lot of people are excited to try out the new Fire Poison Mage. I think so too. I think a lot of people are excited to try out the the changes that's coming with the mage. And it does look really cool that there's a damage over time now and that they can crit. Pretty interesting stuff. Not surprising, I'd assume a lot of people are gonna play Fire Poison Mage. Yeah, I had about like 20 people vote in the poll. And yeah, I was kind of surprised. Not gonna lie. You guys want to see this crossbowman do his thing? Look at that frozen arrow. Look at him controlling his little real estate. He doesn't move much, right? He's within his, he doesn't move too far. He CCs to keep enemies away, then he mobs them down with Iron Arrow. But he's gotta have a con, right? Because look at the damage he's doing. It penetrates, the mobbing skill is great, he crits. But if he has to have a con, it's the fact that he's not able to shoot his arrow when enemies get close. Other than that, this class is really good. But it's gotta have a con. It's gotta have a con because with archers too, their mobilities are really great as well. You know, because they have the skill called thrust in the 3rd job advancement. You can see that his movement is relatively fast, and I don't think he's even leveled. He probably hasn't even leveled thrust yet. I think when he turns 70, obviously he leveled his ice shot, and as he levels, he's gonna put points into thrust. That's going to give him plus 30 movement speed. But he's having a difficult time. The only difficult time he's really having is keeping the enemies away. And the ice shot is just really good at doing that. So he's a level 70 sniper, and I'm a level 70 chief bandit. Blizzard crits in Mapleland. Yes, it does. Archers are getting melee shooting, right? In Classic? I believe so. In MapleStory Classic. In MapleStory Classic, archers apparently, as you level mastery, crossbow mastery, bow mastery, you're gonna have the ability to hit the enemy. You're gonna have the ability to still shoot your arrow when they're close. Does it not crit? Let me see. Let me ask him. No, it doesn't crit. I think what he's doing is he uses ice shot and then iron arrows that kind of get confiscated. 안녕하세요, 민우님. 어서 오세요. The music is on point, very relaxing. Thank you. Also, the guy put his one skill in Blizzard and not Strafe. Pretty interesting. That is pretty interesting, huh? But I think like when you think about it, Strafe at one point is purely just for fun. But when you look at Ice Shot, it definitely has utility, right? Strafe doesn't get better than Double Shot until you put at least 10 points, 15 points. 저격수는 활치기 때문에 뭔가 불편해 보이는군요. 약간 불편함이 있어야 뭔가 재미도 있지 않나 라고 저는 생각하거든요, 개인적으로. 너무 편하기만 하면은 모바일 게임 같아서. Are you full Korean? I am half Korean. Do you stream full time? Yes, I do. It's a cool skill that he has, right? I really think the ice shot looks really beautiful, and every skill that archers have, I don't think they're as like, I don't know. I still want to say Chief Bandits look more cooler, like more badass. But archers too, their illustration, their skill effects, really beautiful as well. I think just in MapleStory in general, MapleStory has like a lot of really beautiful skill illustrations, right? Like have you guys ever played RuneScape? RuneScape's very simple, not a lot of effect. Nothing crazy, and I think that itself is a charm to a lot of people. But for me, I personally like this, like the level of illustration that MapleStory has. You know, I don't like when it's too fancy, like modern MapleStory or the new MMOs that are coming out. I like when it's subtle, but there's this you're still able to distinguish from each class. Like for example, in RuneScape, I don't think you can tell what skills you're using. I don't know how people can tell. I've played RuneScape and I still can't tell. You know, I think you can tell by auditory cue. But other than that, I wasn't able to tell what skills I'm using or distinguish skills from what other people are using. And I like the fact that MapleStory is one of those games you can easily tell, right? It's not too fancy, it's not taking up your entire screen, it's not too loud, but it's loud enough that you can tell what class they are. And at the same time, it's loud enough that there's a distinguishment that you can do, that you can clearly see. It's distinguishable. I think it's just a perfect amount when it comes to skill effects. 요즘 보마보다 흰궁이 더 좋은 것 같다. 왕용둥, 남둥, 위용둥 다 잘 밀어서 그 신궁이 많이 떡상을 했군요. 거의 인기 직업으로. 맥클은 시그너스 같은 게 나오려나요? 글쎄요, 나올까요? 나올 것 같기는 한데 좀 천천히 나왔으면 좋겠어요. 나온다면. 지금 석궁 사수들이 정말로 나쁘지 않다. 뭔가 심화를 보면은 이렇게 세로로 긴 맵보다는 가로로 긴 맵이 어설터 쓰면서 이동하기 편하고 조금 더 시프마스터한테 적합된 사냥터라고 생각하는데, 그런 사냥터가 존재하는지 제 랩에 없을 것 같거든요. 밧줄 타는 거를 감소시킬 수 있어서 시간을 불화둥이나 이런데 참 좋을 것 같은데, 불화둥 아니면 또 어디가 있을까요? 세로로 긴 맵이. 근데 여기 맵도 가로로 그렇게 길지가 않아서 나쁘지 않은 것 같아요. 하나 안 좋은 점이 있다면, 제가 지금 해보면서 느끼는 건데, 어설터를 쓰면은 적에게 스턴이 들어가잖아요, 일정 확률로. 근데 이걸 마스터하면 아마 100% 확률이 되지 않을까 생각하는데, 100% 아니면 한 80% 최소는 되지 않을까 생각해요. 근데 안 좋은 점이 있다면, 이제 스턴 들어간 적한테 세비지 블로우를 넣으면은 그 스턴이 풀린다는 게 좀 아쉽긴 한 것 같아요. 스턴이 풀리면은 이게 스턴이 들어간 상태로 지금 주력기인 세비지 블로우를 쓰면서 잡으면 적자가 정말 없으면서 잘 사냥할 수 있을 것 같은데, 스턴 풀리는 게 좀 아쉽긴 하죠. 사이티 같은 경우 스턴을 넣고 잡으면은 마법 공격을 하지 않아서 그만큼 더 편하거든요. 만약에 때렸을 때 스턴이 안 풀리면 그만큼 어설터가 더 부각되고 엄청 좋은 스킬일 거라고 생각하는데, 스턴이 풀린다는 게 좀 아쉽긴 하네요. 그걸 다 해결한 게 부스다. 부메랑 스텝도 좋긴 한데, 그걸 떠나서 부메랑 스텝은 일단 부메랑 스텝도 마찬가지로 부메랑 스텝을 쓴 다음에 메소 익스플로전이나 아니면 다른 스킬을 넣으면 스턴이 풀리거든요. 이거는 스킬 문제가 아니라 알고리즘하고 메커니즘의 문제인데, 문제라고 하기보다는 그냥 존재하는 게 좀 안타깝다? 제 입장에서는. 어설터만 쓰면서 사냥하시는 분들도 있거든요. 그걸 해소하기 위해서. 그럼 부수랑 다름이 없기 때문에 가서 이제 어디지? 그 전장이나 숲갈은 좀 무리가 있을 수 있고, 전장을 가면은 그 시프 마스터분들이 옥탑증에서 켄타우로스 3마리 젠되는 곳에 가셔가지고 그냥 어설터로 이렇게 사냥을 하시는 걸 봤어요, 제가. 이게 분명 데미지도 나쁘지 않고, 마스터 레벨을 하면 데미지 면에서도 좋고 스턴 들어가서 좋긴 한데 뭔가 루즈해질 수가 있거든요. 근데 적자를 안 보려면 그런 방식으로 사냥을 해야 되는데, 여기서 스턴이 한번 들어가면 세비지 블로우나 메소 익스플로전을 썼을 때에도 스턴이 들어간 상태로 유지가 되면 그만큼 게임을 하는데 재밌지 않을까라고 생각합니다. 저는 개인적으로 적자가 좀 심하긴 하기 때문에, 시프도 아무래도 근거리 직업이기 때문에 그 정도쯤은 해줄 수 있지 않나. 그럴 것 같아요. 저는 개인적으로 아이스샷도 인결이 되면, 인결 상태가 유지되면서 아이언 에로를 쏘면은 인결이 풀리지 않고 빈결이 돼 있잖아요. 그거랑 마찬가지로 어설터를 썼을 때 스턴이 들어가고 난 뒤에 스턴이 한 2초 정도 유지되는 걸로 알고 있는데, 한번 볼까요? 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 한 3초 정도 유지가 되는데, 그 3초 동안 스턴이 유지된 상태로 있었으면 얼마나 좀 더 좋지 않았을까라고 생각합니다. 예, 베이비. 시프 육성하는 사람들 보면 골렘의 숲과 불어전 왕복만 계속 하던데, 다른 거 말고는 생각이 잘 안 난다. 시프 하시는 분들이 많이 힘들어 하시는데, 저는 숲갈에서도 시프 분이 사냥하시는 걸 봤거든요. 로미오와 줄리엣 파티캐스트를 많이 해야겠죠? 지금이 딱 로미오와 줄리엣 파티캐스트를 하기 좋은 레벨인데, 여기서 최대한 많이 있다가 숲갈을 갈 수 있으면 파티를 들어가기 전에 리프레를 한번 가서 양들을 한번 잡아보고, 잡는데 좀 힘들다, 무리가 있다 싶으면 다른 파티가 어디 있을까요? 파티 사냥하는 곳이. 숲가을 가기 전에는 대부분 사이길을 많이 가시던데 저는 사이길 별로라고 생각하거든요. 그리고 또 사이길을 가려면 시브즈를 찍어야 되는데 저는 시브즈 찍을 생각이 별로 없어가지고 숲가를 갈 때까지는 아마 로미오와 줄리엣 파티 캐스트를 하면서 뻐기다가 숲가를 많이 하고 숲가를 한 다음에 이제 불어전이나 이런 데가 자리가 있다면 불어전도 한 번씩 하고 그러다 보면은 금방 업해요. 숲가는 아마 요즘 구인이 안 될 거다. 왜죠? 숲가는 요즘 구인이 안 된다. 숲가 그래도 파티 많던데. 마을 한번 갔다 와야 되겠네. 마을 한번 갔다가 와서 하루 방송이랑 새로 저한테는 보이거든요, 채팅이. 근데 여러분한테는 안 보일 거예요, 아마. 보일라나? 아닙니다. 보이실 거예요, 아마. 가로로 보시던 세로로 영상을 보시던 이게 연결이 돼 있어서 폴플러 섀도워 찍은 사람 대단한 것 같다. 일비값이 떨어져서 숲갈 빈자리가 너무 많다. 아, 그렇긴 하겠네요. 그걸 생각 못했네. 일비값이 조금 떨어져서 숲갈을 하시는 분들이 좀 많이 없으시겠네. 큰일인데요. 숲갈이 있어야 되는데. 벡터의 꼬리를 한 번에 다 팔아버리죠. 이거 기타 창을 비워야 하니까. 올려버리고 이렇게 800 450 한 개당 450원이니까 800개 하면 36만원. 화이트 팽의 꼬리, 그것도 은근 돈이 되는데 개당 220원에 사시는 분 계시니까 당 200원. 개당 200원에 화이트 팽의 코리는 좀 많네요. 그쵸? (1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 14, 1500개) 1500개를 계산을 잠깐 해보면 30만원. 이 정도로 보내주고 이러면 기타 창이 비죠. 나머지는 뭐 팔릴 게 없고. 바로 왔다. 아, 1층 격수들이 파티를 파는 게 좀 줄어들었다. 110레벨부터는 불어전 10렙 마무리 쳐서 끝내는 방식이었다. 일단 뭐 레벨업 올리고 난 뒤 레벨업을 해보고 나중에 가서 파티가 있는지 없는지 한번 보도록 하죠. 것들은 그냥 다 판매해버리고. 물약을 사주도록 하고 팀포 좀 채워서. 팀포가 많이 쓰이기는 하네요. 용기사를 할 때는 예전에는 헥터하고 화이트팽을 잡을 때는 마나 엘릭서가 많이 쓰였는데 이제는 그 반대로 흰포가 많이 쓰이네요. I really hope Nexon firing 강원기 doesn't push back. Was it 강원기? Who did they fire? Yeah, I hope so. I hope that it doesn't get pushed back either. That would suck. 건발 하이, 건발 안녕. 심하는 원탁 우이 어떤 거 같나요? 좋은 거 같아요. 해봐야 알겠지만 Wongi got fired, but that won't mess up Classic as Inkwell is a director for that along with Modern. I hope it doesn't delay. I really hope it doesn't delay Classic because I know a lot of people are waiting for it. 치마 찍었네. 치마 언제 찍었지? 치마를 이틀 전에 찍었어. 이사 때문에 바쁘다. 이제 집에 막 들어가는 거야? 그럼? 많이 바쁘겠네. Wongi was overseas director above everything and now Gaga is in charge. I see. 구정설 지나고 들어갈 듯 지금 가전이랑 가구 드리는 중. 엄청 바쁘겠네. 힘들고 수고가 많겠다. 수연이는 엄청 좋아하겠네. 행복하고. 이제 시작이다. 근데 너 없으면은 우리 풍이는 어떡하냐 진짜. 셋째 이모가 많이 힘들겠다. 오늘은 한국 시간 아마 새벽 2시? 오늘 프레디가 나 보러 운전을 한 10시간까지 해가지고 왔거든. 인스타에서 봤지? 우리 조니 주니어 파티한 거. 그 파티한다고 프레디가 한 10시간 정도 운전을 해서 우리 가족을 보러 왔는데, 이따가 프레디랑 나가서 점심도 먹고 해야 해서, 원래는 새벽 4시까지 방송을 하는데 한국 시간, 오늘은 새벽 2시까지만. 프레디 혼자 온 게 아니라 프레디하고 조디하고 아들. 내가 나중에 사진 보내줄게, 카톡으로. Morning check-in. What's up, Taylor? Welcome back, man. Welcome back. Apparently him getting fired doesn't affect it because it's overseen by Nexon NA and not Korea. I think a lot of Koreans were also celebrating that Wongi got fired. But I'm not sure who Gaga is. I'm not sure who Gaga is. So we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out, guys. I mean, I think they'll still have the test in April. 잔이 돌잡이 때 마이크 집었던데 가수. 그게 약간 썰을 풀자면, 마이크를 바로 잡은 이유가 집에 장난감에 마이크가 하나 있어. 집에 마이크가 하나 있는데 장난감 마이크, 그거를 굉장히 좋아하거든, 잔이 주니어가. 그래서 거기 앞에 있는 것들은 아무래도 처음 보는 물건들이니까 관심도 없고, 일단 자기가 제일 친근한, 자니 주니어한테 친근한 그 물건을 찾아서 바로 간 것 같은데, 보는 입장에서는 정말 재밌고 유쾌하지, 사람들은. Wonky must have been pretty crap person if he was running some serious fraud like that. Yeah, he was messing with percentages. He did some really bad stuff. He defrauded a lot of people, a lot of the players. While Wonky was director of KMS for a long period and did a lot for the game in general, he also wasn't too concerned with the overseas servers and their struggles. Yeah. 거기 나온 가족들 다 케이리 가족들. 그렇지. 거기 케이리가 여기서 아무래도 태어나고 성장을 했기 때문에 가족들이 다 여기 모여있지. 사촌들도 엄청 많고, 그리고 또 다른 가족들도 엄청 많고, 여기에 뿌리가 깊어, 케이리 가족들이. 근데 너무 힘들었어. 그 정도로 이벤트를 차리는 게 쉬운 일이 아니라. 내가 말 많이 하는 인스타그램에 보여주기식, 케이리한테 많이 힘들다고 좀 그 수위를 줄이자고 얘기를 많이 했거든. 너무 크게 스케일 내는 거 아니냐. 돌잡이인 것도 알고 첫 번째 생일인 것도 다 알겠지만 사람을 40명이나 초대해서 먹거리 제공하고 먹거리 제공하고 하면은 엄청 힘들기 때문에 그걸 다 우리가 요리도 하고 세팅도 하고 하는 게 굉장히 힘들거든. 그래서 수위 좀 줄이자고 말을 많이 했는데 이런저런 얘기도 많이 했고. 근데 확실히 인스타그램으로 통해서 보는 거 그치? 그렇게 보는 입장에서는 굉장히 잘한 것 같고 잘 되게 나오는데 엄청 힘들긴 하지. 온 가족이 다 동원해서 열심히 했으니까. That guy is having fun up there. Yeah, I see that. 맞아. 이 아기 돌이니까 나도 동감해. 잘한 것 같아. 여기 있는 저격수가 너여야 하는데 건발 아쉽네. 접어가지고 이게 너여야 하는데. Looking good today, Johnny. Shining. Thank you very much. Thank you. 요즘 계속 일하고 쿠팡하고 운동하고 반복이다. 나머지 시간에 집에 가서 이것저것 봐주고 받아야 해서 바쁘다. 그치. 이제 신혼 생활을 막 시작하게 되면 물론 한국의 문화는 잘 모르고 내가 한국에서는 어떻게 돌아가는지 모르겠지만 미국도 마찬가지로 신혼 생활을 시작하면 바쁜 건 마찬가지라 시간이 많이 부족하고 힘들고. 근데 어느 정도 자리가 잡게 되면은 시간도 나고 하긴 할 거야. 지금이 아마 제일 바쁘고 나중에 애기를 낳으면 그땐 엄청 바쁘고 또 많이 바빠지고. 근데 열심히 해야지. 문희님 70 찍으셨네요. 4차까지 가보시죠. 열심히 하겠습니다. I need someone to love me like Johnny loves a Psalter. Yeah, I love a Psalter, man. I think a Psalter is a beautiful skill. So fun to use. Great mobility. Love it. I think as long as I have Fling Flank here, I think I can get to 120 pretty easily. Some moves just have it. Quotation marks, I agree. Yeah, and assaulter is definitely one of them, right? Someone asked me beginning of the stream, how would I rate the Chief Bandit? And you know, it's hard to give a rating for a class or give a tier list for a class because everybody's metric that people use are pretty subjective and they have different, metrics that they use to give a class a tier or overall score. And I told him, I said, at the end of the day, it's a video game. And for me, personally, the most important metric is, for longevity's sake too, the most important metric I think is that, is it fun? Is it fun to play? Do you feel like, are you having a good gaming experience? A lot of people put like efficiency, viability, utility, all damage, but for me it's purely just fun. And if Mr. Flink Flank wasn't even here, because I'm having so much fun playing the class, I don't mind solo playing. I don't mind being here playing alone. And I think most people shy away from that or are afraid of that, so they pick a class that maybe it doesn't resonate with them initially. There isn't a tug or a pull towards that class. And they go towards something in the middle. Maybe not like a Night Lord, but instead of playing a Paladin, 잘가 건발 다음에 봐. Instead of, let's say, playing like something like a Paladin they had an initial pull for, they'll go for a fighter. Because they know that they'll still have a place in the party. And I just always tell people, play what you want to play. Play what you think you'll have fun with. And for me, Chief Bandit is that, so I'm not really too scared. A lot of people tell me, well, this is where hell begins. Getting to 120 is gonna be hell. Good luck. And I'm like, well, I can't really empathize. I can't really relate to that statement. It's the same thing when I play my Dragon Knight and I solo grind for 4 hours to get 10-15% EXP. To me, because I enjoy the game and I find Dragon Knight still enjoyable, those hours don't feel too unbearable, I guess as long as you can enjoy the game and relax, I think that's the most important part. If I wasn't streaming, I might be watching YouTube. Because the thing is, if I play the game as if I'm getting chased, or as if like I'm being rushed to reach 120, what's gonna happen at 120 is you're gonna enjoy Shadower, sure. You're gonna enjoy your forced job advancement. You're gonna enjoy the class, but I guarantee you're gonna get burnt out sooner or later. That paradoxical, ironical situation where it happens like you've achieved your goal and you've got to where you wanted to be from the get-go, and you're gonna get burnt out because you've achieved your goal. And when you get to fourth job advancement, you're not gonna have another goal to strive for. Maybe your goal will be level 140, 150, 160. But playing the game, having a goal is good, but you gotta enjoy the experience. Very important to enjoy the moment and enjoy the journey and the adventure, or else you'll get burnt out. Sooner or later, let's say you play a Dragon Knight, let's say you play a Hermit, Bowmaster, all these classes, especially a Hermit, are really essential for parties. And yeah, you'll have a good time and an easier time finding parties and stuff. But once you reach 120 and reached your goal, you don't really have a next goal in sight. And the next goal is actually way more strenuous. It's way more stressful. A lot of people feel this fatigue and this sense of purposeless once they hit 120, and they end up quitting shortly after. He quit because it got too hard for him to level, and he started not enjoying the game as much as he was. Oh, hold on. I think that's a thief pants. There we go. An upgrade, finally. I was wearing a level 40 pants for thieves all the way until now. I finally got an upgrade. Level 60. We're gonna get one more luck. We're gonna get more weapon defense and avoidability. A big W. Like dating a pretty girl, you don't enjoy your time together. It's not good for the soul, right? I always say, if you don't enjoy the grinding process, that relaxed feeling, then you are missing out on what the game is really about. 100% agree with you, man. I think you are saying it better than I am. I am not as articulate this morning. Very tired, but you essentially captured the essence of what I'm talking about. You have to enjoy the grind. You have to enjoy the journey. You have to enjoy the class design and the class philosophy that you're playing. It's a wrong approach, I think, to play a character that's the most efficient or most viable. You have to, you know, don't get caught in that trap of what's meta and what other people consider viable. So many people tell me not to play Bandit because I'll have a hard time. Well, what is a hard time in a video game, really? You know, a video game, you're supposed to enjoy the process and enjoy the game. And if you're not doing that, then even if I was to play, like, let's say the most meta class, and I'm going to the most meta training grounds, the most meta efficient way of efficiently earning EXP, it's hard for me because if I don't enjoy the class, then I'm not enjoying the game. So it's a give or take. Yes, it's a little bit more difficult when you're playing a Chief Bandit because a lot of parties won't take you. A lot of parties would prefer to have another ranged class, maybe with more CC. But still, it's not a 0%, right? Because you still have a nice utility party buff called Haste. And if they can't find a Hermit to put in a party, then you can definitely fulfill that slot. I look at Looty Party Quest, right? People will always take, let's say there's two assassins. One assassin went the crit build and he mastered crit. The other went a haste build and he mastered haste. The guy who mastered crit is going to have arguably a harder time leveling and getting into a party because the party's gonna want an assassin that has mastered haste or an efficient party quest experience. So you know, like it's a give or take. When you play a bandit, you can master Savage Blow, or you can master haste first, then start leveling Savage Blow. So there's still an option. Like if you have haste, you still can find yourself in a party later on. In Romeo and Juliet Party Quest, you need either a bandit or a hermit who has haste. Hermits aren't specific, like, you know, hermits aren't unique. You don't need a hermit per se, you need a thief. And a bandit is a thief with haste. So I can find the party here in the future. Right now it's probably a little difficult because I'm low level. Even for a hermit at level 70, it's tough for a hermit to join a party at level 70. But once I get to about 73, 74, I think I'll have an easier time finding a party. For sure, in my opinion, all classes have some use. Be it just for a few maps, it's still a use. Is this Hollow Knight? This is MapleStory. This is Maple Land. When people who make these comparison videos start with such and such is useless, I can already tell that their mindset is for how the game should be. And they just have one way of looking at the game, right? You know, and it's a trap. We have to be more flexible. Because at the end of the day, whether you take a shadower to a raid or a party quest or whatever, you can still complete and conquer that content. Whether it's a raid with Zakum or Horntail, or it's a party quest. Whether you take a chief bandit or a hermit, they both have haste and you can clear the content. People just, you know, get caught up. What's the meta? And I think it's unfortunate, but you know, that's what people want to do. I can't personally change that. It's just unfortunate. What I can do is befriend those who are like-minded as me and hang around people that are like-minded as me. I think there are, I wouldn't say the majority, but there's still a good amount of people who are a lot more laxed and are willing to enjoy the game for what it actually is, a game, instead of really trying to maximize efficiency. You just have to find those people, you know. I enjoyed your take on fire poison mages a lot. Never thought about them the way you did. Eye-opening. In my guild, honestly, like 80% of people didn't want to be around lower tier characters or play with them. I think it's a different element of fun that you can have. I think the game gets pretty stale if you have a fixed composition that you want to take to a raid or to a party quest, and you have a one-dimensional way of looking at things because the meta states so. Meta states that you need to have certain, you know, you need to have 3 Night Lords with a Bowmaster and a Priest because they do the most damage. The game gets stale for me, you know. So when I play MapleStory Classic and I play with my viewers, I play with the people that are going to be playing with me, I wanna run a guild where it's the most important thing is having fun, right? The most important thing is let's enjoy the game as if it's a game. But it's one of those things that where you really have to find the balance, because if you prioritize fun over everything else, then people don't take the raids seriously. And the irony is, if you don't take the game seriously enough, like let's say your raid leader or your raid members are so nonchalant, they're like, oh, we're just having fun, bro, like what the heck, just relax, then it becomes unfun. Well, that's what I think personally. Like, I want to be in a chill guild where people are open-minded and we can take different classes to raids and use all sorts of utility to have a new fresh experience, but I still want some organization and structure, right? I want my raid leader to explain things, take charge. Like, I want it to be a legit experience. I don't want people to just go in and just laugh and talk about how the weather is while they're in a raid. I want them to I want the raid experience, or I want all of that to be serious and be taken seriously, but I don't want to follow the meta necessarily, if that makes sense. Like, for example, let's just give let's have a hypothetical fun imagination moment. MapleStory Classic comes out, I make a guild, and I tell people, like I am telling people now, if you want to join, you're welcome to join. You can play whatever class you like, I don't care. The more people we have, there's going to be variety anyway, so no pressure, just play what you want to play. And slowly content gets released, and it gets to a point where El Nath comes out, third job advancement comes out, and eventually Zakum comes out. And everybody's getting up to level 110, 120. And usually Zakum comes out prior to fourth job advancement. I don't know how they'll do it in Classic, but let's say that's the case. Everybody's 110, 100, 110. And I take a party of 18 people, and it's just every class you can imagine: a sniper, fire poison mage, ice lightning mage. You have a chief bandit, hermit, all of those things. It's gonna be a brand new experience and a fun experience, but I don't want to go in without structure. I want to make it work with what we have and have some structure around that. I want to have an experience where I can mute people and kind of give people orders on what they do, what they should do, have a discussion about how we can conquer the raid with our composition. There's structure there. We don't need to talk about like, hey, we don't need to talk about, hey, we can't go to the raid because we need like at least 5 hermits. No, if the guild has like 20 people and it's of all sorts of classes, then we can take 18 people, maybe 24, because it's gonna be really tough. We probably need to like at least take 24 or 30 people, and that's gonna be hard itself, to have that many people get up to that level. But I think we could have it because I'm doing YouTube and I have some sort of a platform. People will join the guild, and I'm sure we'll have that people. So let's say we take like 24 to 30 people, and we have like 6 fire poison mages, 10 ice lightning mages, 3-4 bishops for each party. And there's gonna be essential classes like hyperbody. We're gonna need hyperbody to survive, right? There's gonna be utility buff that is mandatory. We're definitely gonna have haste because people always play assassins or bandits. But anyway, let's keep going. We have like 10 bandits, 10 assassins, right? Etc, etc, etc. It's not the meta composition. It's not the most efficient composition, but it still works. As long as you can damage Zakun and not hit misses or whatever, you can still go in there and you'll clear the raid in a few hours. And it's that journey. It's that journey of having a difficult time. It's the whole MMO experience, in my personal opinion. That's the MMO experience. When you go in there with your buddies or people that are like-minded, and you take the time, you overcome a hard trial, right? I don't like when MMOs, like for example right now, and this is no fault of Mapleland, it's just the game has aged a little bit, but when people go to Zakun, there's no urgency, there's no journey, there's no adventure, there's no there's no feeling of, wow, we might fail this raid. People just take like 5 Night Lords and 4 Night Lords, 1 Bishop, they don't even need Hyper Body because people are level like 150 plus now. They just go in with the most damage and conquer that thing in 20 minutes. And it's no fault of Mapleland, really. It's not. Because the game is pretty old and people have high leveled and it's an outdated content. But one thing that Korean people still do, and it's the fault of community, is that they will not take a bandit. They will not take a shadower in a party, and it's frowned upon. They want to quickly get over and conquer that raid as fast as they can. And to a certain degree, I understand that because they do it all the time. They want to just get it done with and over with. But at least for me and my guild, I want to not let that be a thing. I think it's interesting to take different party compositions and use their utility to the fullest extent and conquer hard trials. I think that's what makes the gaming experience fun. And I think a lot of people would agree. It's just that what happens is when you get in a guild or a party, there's people that are very strong-minded and vocal, and they think a certain way and it has to be that way. And if it's not that way, then they get very loud and vocal. And what ends up happening is people like us who are more laxed and who want to try new things and have fun in a different sort of way, we're not as vocal as they are. So we end up following the leader. We end up following the people that are very vocal about how things should be done. And I think you just need a different leader, someone else to step up and say, hey, we don't necessarily have to do it this way. We're going to actually do it this way. So come on, we're going to do it this way. We'll figure it out as we go. If you're Ice Lightning Mage and Fire Poison Mage, come on, let's go try Zakun. We'll figure out your role within that party. For example, let's say Fire Poison Mages could definitely have a role, right? You can spray poison mist up at where the mobs spawn, and I can ask all the Ice Lightning Mages to instantly freeze the mobs when they spawn, and when there's no mobs, do the most damage that you can. Everybody should default to damaging Zakun as much as they can, but everybody's gonna have a role in a sense. Fire Poison Mages, make sure your poison mist is up. And Ice Lightning Mages and Snipers, make sure you're freezing mobs as much as possible so it doesn't get in, let's say, the Archer's way or the Hermit's way of damaging Zakun, using their utility, right? Because that's what they're useful for. Whereas Hermits and Rangers, they're not going to have that type of CC to help the party. They're not going to have that utility within their skill set to benefit the party in any way. Their main job is going to be continuously throwing their stars and their arrows at Zakun. And when there's no mobs, Ice Lightning Mages and Fire Poison Mages can use their strongest single target attack to damage Zakun. Hermits, or what is it? Chief Bandits as well. Continuously using Savage Blow on Zakun until you get enough mesos on the ground from Pickpocket and blow it up. Or maybe we can coordinate and say, hey, when you because I think when you freeze the mobs in Zakun, they all fall down. I don't think they stay in the air when you freeze enemies. I think they fall. I think that's just the in-game mechanics, in-game physics. When you freeze an enemy, they lose their airborne status and they start falling to the ground. And we can ask the Chief Bandit to make sure they have plenty of little coins on the ground. So when they fall, just save up your coin and use it on the mobs. Because Meso Explosion is a great mobbing skill. When you have a lot of Mesos on the ground and you explode it all at once, it is actually a really great mobbing skills. I would say if you can save up enough Mesos on the ground, it's probably better than Band of Thieves because it hits 10 enemies. And you can ask the rangers to stun them for a little bit when they come on the ground. You know, all these, you have to use, like, I like making usage of each character's secondary or tertiary utility skills, and using it together with other classes to create an experience that you normally wouldn't get. I'm a huge fan of that. I'm not a fan of looking at the game in a simple linear fashion where we have to damage Zakum and that's what everybody's doing. A lot of times when you go into Zakum, what happens is they let the mobs spawn and they start overcrowding up at the top. And one, it gets buggy, and two, if you hit one, they come fly at you and it can turn into a giant mess. But they essentially look for ways to kind of like, I guess it's like a bug in a way, because these mobs that Zakum spawns, they all hover and float at the top and they don't come for you. You know, they don't come directly towards you when they actually should. So what players have figured out is don't hit the mobs, let them just float up at the top. We're just gonna do, you know, forget about utility, forget about the fact that you know, because we have 3 Night Lords, a Bowman, a Bishop, and a Dragon Knight anyway, just mandatory utility and all damage. And they just kind of work around how the game actually should be played. They look for ways to essentially cheat through the mechanic. And I want to make usage. I want to play the game for how it should be. I want a real challenge. I want some variety. That's what it comes down to. You know, that's the whole point of my little rant here, is that I like when I see all sorts of different classes conquering a raid. I don't like the meta of Night Lords and Bowmasters and everybody else is supporting around those two. Hopefully we won't need Hyperbody and it's something nice to have. 안녕하세요, 불갈비님, 어서오세요. That's the problem with having a one-to-one recreation of classic game. Everything has been solved. There's a right and wrong way to do things. It always happens too, because the divide in our guild, we broke into 2. Well, hopefully we can try to kind of at least steer clear of falling into the trap of meta. Meta will always be the most efficient. That's why it's meta, right? And a lot of people will want to play the game following the meta. And I'm sure there's going to be times where it's mandatory that we follow the meta. But at least for me and my guild and the people that I want to play with, I want them to be flexible. If I get a sense that while I'm running the guild that one of my guild members who told me they're going to be flexible and they give me a little bit of grief, or they're just not happy we're trying new things, you know, and they're not enjoying the game, they can't enjoy the game when it's outside of the way it's already prescribed by a meta, then I'll just ask you to leave the guild. Gaming is fun when you hang around like-minded people. When if you have a negative Andy and they're like, well, you know, we should probably have more if somebody tells me, well, we should probably have like 3 hermits because they do the most damage with Shadow Partner, I'm gonna be like, well, you know, we're not trying to clear the raid as fast as possible. We're trying to have a good time. And if Joey over there is playing Fire Poison Mage, why can't we bring him? He still does damage to Zach. He still can put down Poison Mist and it'll have a dot. It'll have a damage over time on Zach, and you know, he's gonna be useful in his own way. As long as someone said, why don't you make a perma beginner class? Obviously, you can't bring a beginner to the ZAC unless we have a huge party that we're bringing, and he's the 30th member, and just for shits and giggles, you bring him, just to have a good time. Sure, I don't mind that, but there's always a line that you don't want to cross, right? Like, you can't bring a level 70 a warrior because they're just gonna non-stop miss, and it's not even fun for them. It's not fun. Another thing that I don't like when I play an MMO is people all the time in Mapleland kind of offer to leech me and they offer, hey, why don't you come here and I'll leech you? Why don't you come to the Zakum raid and you can join us? And my thing is, I don't want to go unless I am a viable member. If I'm just gonna sit there for 20 minutes and watch other people play the game, that's not fun for me. At the fundamental level, I am not being rushed, and I am not in a race to get to level 120. I am in a steady paced marathon to enjoy this quote unquote run. I like to look at the view around me. I want to get that breath of fresh air. I want to chat with the person next to me. So for me, it's a completely different. It's at the fundamental level, we just have a different understanding and approach to what a video game is. People that want to leech me thinks that I'm in a race and I want to get to a higher level, when in fact I enjoy MapleStory at a steady pace, and I'm enjoying every level, every second of it, and that's what's more important to me. If I put myself in a race and I get to 120 as quick as I can, asking people to leech me, I missed out on so much. And at 120, I will be so used to people leeching me that I think I'll get burnt out as soon as I get a little bit of responsibility of being accountable to my own self and having to grind for myself. Thank you, DK. I appreciate that. Hi, top patient. Welcome to the stream, man. I appreciate your positive energy. Any ideas if this is playable in Singapore? If you are not in Korea, more than likely you won't be able to play Mapleland. Hey Kim, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Welcome back. Good to see you. Ginger is going to main a ranger. Nice, man. I think ranger is a super fun class as well. Arrow bomb, strafe. I love strafe. 조니님 하시는 거 보면 저도 클래식 메이플이 땡긴다. 시작해봐야겠다. 혹시 그냥 메이플 말고 클래식 하시는 이유가 있나요? 이 서버는 클래식이 아니라 메이플랜드인데, 일단 그냥 메이플이 본선 메이플을 말씀하시는 것 같은데, 본선 메이플을 안 하는 이유는 간단합니다. 파티 플레이도 없고, 일단 커뮤니티도 없고 혼자 해야 한다는 게 좀 별로인 것 같고 홀플 위주로 돌아간다. 그리고 과금을 유도하는 것도 너무 악의적인 행위라고 생각하고 마음에 안 들고 그런 걸 다 따졌을 때 다른 사람들과 같이 게임을 즐길 수 있고 편하게 게임을 즐길 수 있다는 점이 정말 매력적인 것 같아요. 메이플랜드는 드디어 방송 화면에 채팅도 송출하시는군요. 제가 여러분들의 댓글을 읽고 많이 노력을 하거든요. 시청자분들이 원하시는 쪽으로 채팅도 방송에 송출이 되면 보는 재미도 있고 같이 소통할 수 있는 것 같아서 이렇게 하고 있습니다. 근데 보니까 지금 채팅하고 경험치가 약간 겹치는 것 같은데 끝만 위로 올릴게요. 이 정도 올리면 괜찮아. So we'll see what they do with their job. I'm fully committed to. DK, don't worry about it, man. The whole reason why I'm broadcasting is to communicate with people. So, and for us to have a good time and talk about our introspective and our personal experiences and share our insights and yeah, the whole point is to communicate, so no need to apologize for communicating. 어제 저녁에 어깨 운동을 했는데 약간 오랜만에 해서 그런지 엄청 뻐근하네요. 목하고 어깨가. 오늘 로미오 파티캐스트를 하고 싶었는데 같이 하실 분이 없어서 좀 아쉽긴 하네요. 오, 와우. 특하신 거? Saga, what's up, man? Welcome back. Good to see you. Good morning. Well, I just wish that once the game comes out, we can all experience and communicate in a friendly manner with each other again. I think we'll be okay. I think we'll have a good time. There's a lot of people in my stream. That are like-minded and are looking for the same thing. So even if we are a minority, which I don't think we are, I think the people that think like us and that want the experience that we crave don't vocalize it as much because it's quickly shunned upon, and people will immediately start talking about what's meta. But I think there's a lot of people that are looking for the same thing that you and I are looking for. Hey Gremlin, welcome back, man. Good morning. Classic Romeo and Juliet, I know, right? I'm looking for people. I would love to do at least one run before I have to end the stream, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to. Not a lot of Korean people are joining my stream today. I will join, but I can't promise a high level. You think I need you to be high level? You can play whenever you want, whenever you can. You can just join whenever you want, and and play whenever you want. No pressure at all, man. The only bad thing really is going to be the fact, it's going to be unfortunate for you. Let's say you're like level 30 and 40, and our guild eventually gets to a point where we have about level 100, 110s, and Zakum rolls out, and we want to attempt it for the first time. Even if I wanted to take you, I couldn't at that point because for obvious reasons, right? You would have to at least be like level 100, 105 to join Zakum. I'm not really gonna have a class requirement or a job requirement. I'm not gonna chase the meta per se, but there's gotta be a baseline, right? Which is gonna be a level requirement. If you're below level 105, more than likely you're not gonna be able to damage Zakum and not viable. But let's say we have like 25 people that are level 105 and above, and we have the rest 5 members in a 30-man raid for Zakum, and the other 5 people are like level 90 and 100, then I'm gonna take whatever's available in our guild and use my guild members to the fullest extent and see if I can organize that. Another thing that's gonna be difficult is to organize something at that scale. 30 people to get there to kind of match and have the available times to do it together is going to be another challenge, but that's a problem for another day. We'll have to figure that out when we get there. 본섭에서 자쿰은 쉬운 보스인데 메렌에서는 잡기 엄청 어렵나 보네요. 메렌에서도 지금은 잡기 쉽습니다. 메렌이 이제 게임이 출시된 지, 그리고 자쿰이라는 공대가 보스가 나온 지 좀 됐기 때문에 지금은 거의 동네 북이라고 보시면 되고, 저희가 얘기하고 있는 거는 이제 북미 서버에서 출시될 메이플스토리 클래식이라는 게임인데 아직 출시가 안 됐거든요. 아마 5월, 6월? 올해 여름쯤에 출시가 될 것 같은데, 그때를 얘기하고 있는 겁니다. 그 서버를. They were like, hey dude, we could have made money off this slot join. Yeah. I hear you, DK. 잠시만요. Giving Chrono Story another shot. Oh yeah? Have you played it before? I think you've told me you have, right? Why'd you quit? If you're giving it another shot, that insinuates that you've quit. Now you're trying it again. 경험치 너무 안 오른다. 경험치가 좀 안 오르긴 하죠. 그쵸? Didn't feel like the old MapleStory with the whole can hit multiple enemies on certain classes and jump attack things, but seeing as Classic will probably add that into their game, I'm gonna try it out again. Yeah, right, like and that's why I'm pretty vocal about no jump attacking on archers, and I really, you know, I'll have to try MapleStory Classic when it comes out to see, and I'm being open-minded, but for now, because I haven't tried it yet, I'm against the idea of removing bow whacking on archers. For Classic World, jump attacking with mages and archers aren't a thing, though I was able to get archer jump attack quote unquote to work at MapleCon, where you get the attack on the ground but get the jump forward animation still. I love that. I really like those little bugs where you can really show off your personal ability to time that right, because if I'm guessing right, you're talking about how it was in old school MapleStory where you can't jump attack as an archer, but you could time your jump and your attack, and you have to be very precise and kind of press it almost at the same time, but not really. It has to be sequential, like maybe 0.1 second apart, where you jump and then attack at the same time, and it allows you to jump attack, but the attack is being the game registers the attack as if you're shooting it from the ground, but your character is still moving and jumping forward. I think those little things, it's essentially a bug and a glitch. But I think those little things are what makes old school MapleStory great as well. One of the things, because not a lot of people could do that, and if you could do it really well, I think it just kind of gave you a space where you could show off. Yo, Daspala, what's up, man? Welcome back. Missed you, buddy. Are people inclined to go mage because of the new crit system? I'm not exactly sure. Mages shouldn't be able to crit. I completely agree, man. But I think there's gonna be a base crit chance in the game, so I really hope my guy Johnny gets in April online beta taste. Right, me too, man. 한국어 왜 이렇게 잘하시나요? 한국 사람입니다, 태주님. 어서 오세요. I don't mind every class being able to crit. I hope that by 4th job, archers have the highest crit rate. We'll see how it all plays out, right? I remember initially not liking the idea. I remember not liking the initial idea that all classes have a base crit rate, because I think archers, it was part of their identity, or that's what I firmly believe, that one of the archers' identity was the fact that they can crit early. But, you know, we'll see how it plays out. Mages and warriors should be critting less, while thieves can do it a bit and archers doing it the most. Right. Because I do think archers' main appeal is the fact that they can crit from the first job advancement, and if they can emphasize that, I think it's great. I think it's one of their core identities is that they can crit. What about the first class you ever made back in the day? The first class I ever make in the day? Man, I don't know. I can't really remember. I think it might have been a bowman. It probably was a bowman, an archer. Still is their identity with sharp eyes, right? They can allow the party members to crit, and it's a huge part of the bowman's kit. A huge part of their identity. It makes a lot of sense, in my opinion. But now that all classes have a base crit rate and items are gonna give crit damage and crit rate, we'll see how much it robs from the archer's identity when the game comes out. When I first played mage, I was jealous of seeing purple numbers. Right. Yeah, the purple numbers were so cool. I think mine was warrior, and I over leveled until like 12, I think. Can vaguely remember. Oh, instead of advancing, I know what you mean, like you leveled past your initial level of first job advancement. Yeah, didn't know anything about the game, but had so much fun. I was 10 years old, adding in because I wanted my rogue to be smart. Oh man, I think I did some mistakes like that too, where I was putting like weird stats into my archer, I believe, maybe my mage. There was a weird thing where you could be a strength mage back in the day. There was like a iron mace for mages for some reason, and you could put strength as a mage. It was a mage weapon, but it required strength in order for you to equip it. And I remember doing that on my mage as well, putting some strength into my mage. Ignorance was such a bliss, man. Ignorance is definitely a bliss. One of the infamous saying, right? When you're ignorant, everything is new, everything is fun. You're not as tainted with the evils of the world. I'm expecting them to have those safeguards, or if you over level first or second job, that you don't lose those points. It's one of those things where in itself, when you look back, it's really a charm that the game wasn't as graceful. And I like that. I like when games aren't as forgiving. I like when games punish you for making mistakes. It just makes it gives room for memories to grow and for fun experiences to be had. If the game is always too forgiving and holds your hand, there's no room for fun moments. Have you done 1% since yesterday, or is it a whole level? I came in today at 0%, so far I've raised close to 40%. Getting stuck in orbits without mesos as a level 15 rogue, oh my god. Oh my god. Or getting stuck down at, what is it called? The Ludibrium area where there's aliens and stuff. Omega Sector, I believe. That was a huge headache. I remember, I think I actually lost a character down in that black hole. Couldn't get out. I had no money, no pots. And I tried so hard and I was devastated as a kid. I remember spending some amount of time trying to get my character out and eventually gave up. You know, there was a huge sense of adventure, a journey that you would go on when you were playing your new character for the first time in MapleStory, and a lot of times in today's MMO that doesn't exist. They should have kept the scaling system with SP. If you mess up early, then you gotta start over. Yeah, let it be not so forgiving. It's a good thing when games aren't forgiving. It's a good thing that games are challenging and there's, you know, that it doesn't hold your hand. 제일 좋아하는 메이플 맵이 있으신가요? 제일 좋아하는 맵이라. 글쎄요, 제일 좋아하는 맵은 that's a hard question. What's my favorite? He asked me what's my favorite map in MapleStory. That's a hard question, man. Let me think. Mr. Flank Flank says 숲갈. 제가 숲갈을 좋아하기는 해요. 숲의 갈림길이라는 맵이 있는데 양들이 나오는 맵이거든요. 거기서 파티 사냥하는 걸 굉장히 좋아합니다. 굉장히 비싼 방패를 주시려고 하는데 저 정도의 훈지는 받으면 습관도 나빠지고 게임을 경험하는 데에도 많이 문제가 되기 때문에 마음만 받겠습니다. 여러분 감사합니다. Pain must come with pleasure. Exactly. Amoria, I didn't know how to leave that place. Favorite map, couldn't tell you. Favorite background music, I've got opinions for. Exactly. I think a lot of my favorite maps usually correlate with the background music that comes with that map. You know? So for me, I really like Tree Dungeon in Alinea. Missing You is a beautiful background music. Really like Alinea themed music. 조니님 헌터 키워본 적 있다고 하지 않으셨어요? 그쵸, 헌터 키워봤죠. 시간의 신전 노래도 너무 좋다. 그쵸, 시간의 신전도 노래가 너무 좋죠. 레인 메워지는 안 키웠나요? Because a buddy wanted to farm panlid, didn't have a clue on what that even was, and they brought me to that area. I remember farming for panlid. You guys remember that? There was a time when I played MapleStory in the initial phase of the game. Panlids were super expensive. Before Esther and Mystic Shields came out for mages, and even for thieves, it was the next best shield. I think the one prior to Panlid, before Panlid got released, you had the wooden shield that you could get from the beginner area, and that was it. Messing up with the stats is a huge part of Classic, exactly. You know, and I agree with you. I don't want the game to, you know, when we talk about these nostalgic memories and we laugh about it, I don't want people to default into saying they should release the game considering that and make sure it's fixed so it doesn't happen again. No, I think it should happen again. I think all those little quirks and all those little bugs that existed in old school MapleStory, they need to incorporate that into MapleStory Classic. That's what made the game great, man. That's what made the game memorable. We don't want a game to hold our hand, you know, and in the midst of the conversation, we can lose track of what we really want in MapleStory Classic. We got to be mindful, and it's the same thing about quality of life updates and integration of new things in the game that is essentially quality of life. And I'm not a huge fan of quality of life updates. I like the game to be challenging. I like when the game had little quirks and bugs, as long as, you know, it's not like an error 404 popping up on your screen and kicking you off the game type of bugs, right? The fact that you got stuck when you go to Omega Sector, we look back, yeah, it sucked, but should we go into the mindset of, oh, they should have an NPC that can teleport you out of there if you get stuck? I don't think so. I don't think that's a great. I think it's good the way it is. Let the newbies come and enjoy that experience that we had, the devastation. So 10 years from now, when they look back at their memory and the time that they spent in the game, they can laugh about it with their buddies too. I think that's what makes the game fun. Let them have the whole dice roll thing. Some people don't want the dice roll, but bring it back. I like when the game is challenging. I like when the game isn't as easy. If you start off the game, you know, and it already gave you 4/4 on the stats that you don't use, let's say as like you're making a warrior, and already because you want to play a warrior, it already prioritizes, like how they do in Mapleland. They don't do it that way. In Mapleland, when you create a character, you already have the most stats and strength, and it resets your AP once you get your first job advancement. And I don't really like that. I enjoy sitting there rolling the dice. I feel more connected to my character. Already from the get-go, I have this sense of attachment because I spent 10 minutes trying to get the perfect roll on my character and the perfect stat. I feel that much more connected to my character. You know, yes, it's more time consuming, but for me, I think it's a great thing. Quit cheating, bro. How am I cheating? I want skill builds to be relevant. I want the ability to reset skills when new job advancement comes out to be available. I want ability points to have up and down arrows so we can change them as we get new equips. Yeah, I don't like that. I gotta be honest with you. I think you're making the game too easy. You know? And yeah, I'm not a fan of that. You know who this is? Nope. I have no idea who this is, bro. Zach with the K. Zach Cooper? Maybe? I have no clue. How did I know? How did I know? You're the only Zach I know. What's up, my man? How you doing? Been a while, Zach. You got booed up, and now you're living the dream with your beautiful wife. Is she now? Is she your wife now? Are you guys married? She's beautiful, man. Not yet. Well, I see you traveling all over the place with her on Facebook and stuff, and you look like you're having a great time, bro. You look good. Happy for you. We are actually heading to Seoul next month. Awesome, dude. Nice. First time going, right, Zach? Speaking of Zach, when are you coming to the Zach raid? I don't know. I guess when I hit 4th job advancement. We'll see when that is. Eventually, I guess. Who is this Zach? Zach is my buddy from high school. Zach is one of my close buddies from high school. Yes, sir. Gotta see the motherland. That's right. Is it just you and your girlfriend going? My dad's coming too, going to spread my grandma's ashes in Ujeongbu. You're going to Ujeongbu. Bro, I'm from Ujeongbu. I used to live in Ujeongbu. I was born around that area. That's cool, man. But I'm sorry to hear about your grandma. But hey, I'm happy for you, man. Have a good time in Ujeongbu. Have a good time in Korea. Make sure you eat a lot of good food and make the most of it. That's where my dad was born. Wow, what a small world, huh? I used to live in Ujeongbu for a long, long time before I came to the States. 부대찌개 먹어봤냐? 아, 부대찌개 너무 맛있죠. So Zach, that's a really good point. If you're going to Ujeongbu, you gotta eat 부대찌개. Ujeongbu is famous for 부대찌개. Alright, brother. I'll talk to you later, Zach. Have a good time in Korea. Happy for you. 저는 의정부 가서 부대찌개 먹어봤습니다. 맛있더라고요. 의정부 부대찌개 유명하잖아요. Have you ate anything alive before, like octopus? Oh yeah, I love eating octopus with some salt and sesame oil, bro. It's so good. I think it's probably my favorite sashimi type of food. Let me see. It tastes like nothing when it's cooked. When it's not cooked. It definitely is for texture. I think people eat it for texture and for the taste of the salt and sesame oil. It is a weird. It's not a weird, but it's a unique taste where it really tastes like nothing, but it has this texture, and I would say it tastes like something, but it's very subtle. You know. 여기 어설터 배우니까 참 편한데요. 어설터 없을 때는 좀 힘들긴 했는데 돼지를 잡는 게 이동기가 있으니까 확실히 편하긴 하네요. So this was pretty difficult for me to do before I learned the Salter, but now with the Salter I think it's a bit easier. Lot of XP. I can do it 2 more times. Let's see if I can level off of this. 시프 솔플 어떤 편인가요? 효율적으로 따지면 많이 안 좋긴 하지만 그래도 재미만 느끼시면 할만한 것 같아요. 천천히만 하시면. 그래서 재밌는 직업을 하는 게 저는 개인적으로 제일 중요하다고 생각하는 게, 게임을 하면서 재미를 느끼면 솔플도 할만하거든요. 제가 그래서 용기사를 키울 때도, 용기사로 방송을 할 때도 솔플을 하면서 방송을 하는데, 용기사도 어느 정도 재미가 있다고 생각하기 때문에 견디면서 하는 것 같아요. 근데 만약에 클레릭을 키우고 있다면 전혀 못할 것 같은데, 와, 안 나오는데? 단단한 날? 안 나와. 마지막 도전 해봅니다. 나침반 마지막 하나 남은 거 가보자. 나와라 제발. 제발 나와라. 안 나오는데요. 그러고 보니까 여기 맵이 번호가 있네. 아예 몰랐는데. 와, 안 나와. 안 나와. 안 나와, 안 나와. 그래도 벨트 행운 주문서 10%는 나왔네요. 한번 질러볼까? 가자! 바로 버리고. 자, 마지막 한번 달려보겠습니다. 남은 25분. 어설터 스킬 이펙트가 정말 멋있긴 한 것 같아요. 바람 이펙트라든지 단풍잎이 갈리는 이펙트라든지 자세부터 멋지기도 하고 멋져요 정말. 그는 정말 매력있는 캐릭터라고 생각합니다. I can explain. Welcome to the stream, man. Good morning. What level is Flank? He is level 108. I just noticed my profile pic shows in your chat. Yeah. I have this new setting where you guys can see the chat live in the stream, so everybody can see who I'm talking to. It's better, right? It's better to have chat on the screen. What do you think? Is it too overcrowded? Does it look too messy? Or does it look good? I like chat on stream. Okay, nice. We can talk to the YouTubers as well now. Yeah. I figured that most people would like it. One thing that I was worried about is that it would make the stream a little bit more messy, but I guess it works. It's working out. It looks good. Most people seem to like it. 조니 형 방송 너무 좋다. 감사합니다. 조니 형 길드 안 만드시나요? 길드는 메이플랜드에서는 안 만들 것 같아요. 아마 클래식 서버를 만들면 클래식 그 글로벌의 클래식 서버가 나오면 거기서 만들지 않을까 생각을 하고 있는데, 메이플랜드에서 길드를 운영하기는 VPN을 쓰면서 게임을 진행하기 때문에 VPN이 정말 큰 걸림돌이거든요. VPN 때문에 길드를 운영하기가 정말 힘들 것 같아요. Is there a level 70 dagger for your chief bandit? There is, but I'm not really in a rush, or I'm trying to wait till I'm trying to thug it out until level 80 because I have a level 80 dagger on my Dragon Knight that I want to scroll myself. 클래식 메이플 나오시면 메이플랜드는 접는 건가요? 아니죠. 메이플랜드는 쭉 할 것 같아요. 아무래도 일단 메이플스토리 클래식이 어떻게 운영될지도 아직 미확인된 거고, 아무래도 북미 넥슨에다가 오한별님이 진행하는 서버이기 때문에 의심이 많이 되고 기대를 많이 하고 있지 않기는 한데, 일단 처음에 나오면은 방송도 하면서 즐기다가 메이플랜드도 방송하고 그런 식으로 할 것 같아요. 메이플랜드는 너무 재밌기 때문에 접는 일은 없을 것 같아요. 여기에 시청자분들이랑 같이 컨텐츠도 할 수 있고 같이 사냥도 할 수 있고 소통도 할 수 있기 때문에. 근데 메이플랜드에서는 약간 그 뭐라고 해야 되지? 벽 같은 게 있죠. VPN이라는 벽이 너무 커가지고 제가 하고 싶은 만큼의 컨텐츠를 진행을 못하는 게 좀 아쉽긴 하죠. 채널 변경하는데도 VPN을 켜야 되고, 공대 같은 거 들어가서 다쿰이나 혼텔 같은 거를 하고 싶어도 VPN이라는 벽이 있어서 방송을 안 할 때 해야 하는데, 방송을 안 할 때 시간이 좀 별로 없기는 해요. 제가 밤에는 일단 애기도 있고 한 가정의 가장이라서 사업도 봐야 되고 시간이 많이 없는데, 여러모로 좀 힘들긴 하죠. 글로벌 클래식 언제 나오나요? 아마 올해 여름쯤 나오지 않을까 생각합니다. Does this server have a third job only, or is it fourth job as well? This server has fourth job. 방송이 많이 타이트하겠는데요. 스트림 시간이 엄청 긴 편은 아니셔서. 그쵸? 이제 저녁에는 대부분 아직까지는 제가 영상을 스스로 제작도 하고 다 혼자 하기 때문에 방송 관리나 영상 제작, 그리고 제가 이런 방송 같은 거는 많이 해보지를 않아서 화면에 채팅 올려놓는 거나, 그리고 여러 플랫폼에 송출하는 것도 처음 해보는 거라 많이 공부도 해야 되고. 나는 대수보라. Did I type that right? What are you trying to say? You are Despola? Oh, okay. Yeah, you did type that right. But instead of you should have said la. 대수볼라. Because it's a LA, no? 최대한 즐기면서 방송을 하고 있어요. 지치지 않게끔. 영어가 원래 쓰는 거고 한국어를 배운 건가요? 둘 다 너무 잘하셔서 놀랐다. 한국에서 태어나서 한국이 모국어라고 봐야 하는데 미국 생활을 어느덧 이제 18년 정도, 17년 정도 하니까 아무래도 미국에서 사회생활하고 그리고 직장생활도 하고 군생활도 여기서 했기 때문에 어느 순간부터는 영어가 더 편하더라고요. 근데 이제 한국어는 한국에 가족도 있고 제가 아무래도 뿌리가 한국인이다 보니까 미국 와서도 한국 방송도 많이 보고 한국 엔터테인먼트도 많이 보고 한국도 자주 놀러 가고 해서 어느 정도 한국어를 유지하는 것 같습니다. 지칠 수가 없는 방송이다. 진짜 그냥 편안하게 산책하는 느낌. 감사합니다. 마인탕님. 제가 나중에는 이 시프마스터도 퀘스트 매니아를 진행해볼까 하는데 이런 말을 하면서도 제가 좀 인생을 살면서 조심하게 하려고 하는 게 마음에 없는 말은 뱉지 말자 라는 말을 하고 그거를 굉장히 중요하게 여기거든요. 근데 퀘스트 마니아가 정말 힘들긴 했어요. 퀘스트 마니아를 진행할 때. 그래서 다시 한번 해보겠다라고 감히 말하기가 좀 두렵긴 한데 퀘스트 매니아 훈장을 달고 다니면 약간 무슨 어라 아시죠? 어라 같은 게 나오더라고요. 사람들을 봤을 때 퀘스트 매니아를 달고 있으면 이 사람은 진짜 메이플을 사랑하는 사람이구나 라는 그런 느낌이 드는데 저는 정말 메이플을 사랑하거든요. 메이플도 좋아하고 굉장히 즐기고 메이플과 연도 많고 그래서 해보고 싶기는 한데 좀 두렵기는 해요. 함부로 말을 못하겠어요. 퀘스트 매니아 저걸 보면 정말 간단하지만 너무 멋있는 것 같아요. 저 훈장이. What is your Korean name? My Korean name is Juhan. What server is he playing? This is called Mapleland in Korean MapleStory and KMS. You're welcome, man. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. 한번 목적을 두고 하루에 퀘스트 10개씩만 깨자. 하루에 10개씩만 깨자 하면서 진행을 해도 나중에 재밌게 할 수 있을 것 같은데 천천히 하면 할 수 있는데 이게 어느 순간 퀘스트 매니아라는 훈장에 도전을 하게 되면 300개, 320개, 340개 이제 300이라는 벽을 넘어서 400이라는 게 엄청 가깝게 느껴질 때 그 쪼여오는 느낌을 이길 수 없어가지고 하루에 10개만 한다고 해도 정말 빨리 얻고 싶고 끝내고 싶은 그런 느낌이 들거든요. 그게 정말 못 견디게 힘든 것 같아요. 천천히 하면서 하면은 할 수 있는데 어느 순간부터 엄청 쪼여오는 느낌이 들어가지고 그때부터 정말 힘들거든요. VPN 키면 게임 오래 못하나요? VPN을 키고 게임을 하는 게 아니라 VPN을 키고 접속만 하면 됩니다. 해외에 계신 건가요? 햇빛이 매우 강렬하게 비치네요. 미국에 살고 있습니다. 어서오세요 여러분. 처음 보시는 분들 만나서 반갑습니다. From the weapon you're using, I assume you're not dexless. No, I am not dexless. I'm not a huge fan of dexless, strengthless, luckless, stuff like that. You can see how bad my Korean is. You were close. You were close to spelling my name. Your Korean, I mean, you just gotta practice, bro. Like how you're doing. Just gotta keep practicing. 님 귀여워. 일단 저는 여기까지 하고 다음에 봬요. 마을 가볼게요. So quick question to anyone who may know, are the versions of Hennessy's Kerning and Lith Harbor, etc. the original versions that we are getting? I'm not exactly sure. When you look at the world map though, it does look a little different, right? When they open the world map in MapleStory Classic. 나이가 어떻게 되세요? 메이플 세대신가요? 저는 93년생입니다. 자, 메이플을 정비를 하고 방송을 종료를 할 텐데, 방송 종료용 Missing You를 틀고 정산해 보겠습니다. I'm going to miss you. 뭐야 이거? 팔아버리고. 정도로 하고 오늘 방송은 여기까지 할 거고요. 오늘 일찍 가시네요. 오늘 양아버지가 운전을 한 10시간 정도 하셔서 제 아들 생일 파티를 참석하시려고 먼 길을 오셨는데 방송 휴방하기는 싫어가지고 제가 오늘 방송 일찍 시작한 다음에 일찍 종료하기로 했거든요. 그래서 이제 11시 반쯤, 미국 시간으로는 11시 반, 한국 시간으로는 1시, 새벽 1시 반인데 내일은 기존 존재하던 시간 그대로 저녁 11시에 들어와서 될 수 있으면 좀 더 많이 방송을 하도록 할게요. 시간도 많이 보내고 여러분들이랑. 오늘 방송 시청해주셔서 감사하고 새로 오신 분들 좋아요와 구독 한번 눌러주시고 저랑 같이 소통하면서 친하게 지나면 좋을 것 같아요. 그리고 꾸준히 와주시는 우리 시청자분들도 오늘도 와주셔서 참 좋은 시간이었고 즐거웠습니다. Okay, so this is going to be it for me today. Had a great time with you guys. A lot of new faces, a lot of new people that came and spent time with me. Give my video a like. And subscribe to my channel. I stream Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And had a great time. And if you guys have the luxury, go ahead and join and become a member of my stream. You can get membership only emotes and a badge next to your name. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. 그럼 내일 뵙겠습니다, 여러분. 좋은 밤 보내시고 너무 늦게까지 게임하지 마시고 몸 건강 잘 챙기시고 내일 봬요, 여러분. 감사합니다. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye guys. I'll see you tomorrow.